Welcome back, everyone. We're live from the NASDAQ market site in New York City. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken back in Israel this morning, meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu and other senior Israeli officials as a worsening civilian toll that fuels mounting concern that the conflict could widen in the region. And Americans are taking notice. An overwhelming majority of voters are worried the U.S. will be drawn into a military conflict in the Middle East, according to a Quinnipiac University national poll. The degree of concern varies by party, with more Republicans worried about U.S. involvement than Democrat or independent voters. Joining us now with more, Yahoo Finance's Rick Newman. Hey, Rick, what do we know so far?
Hey, guys. I think those 84% of voters who are worried about the United States getting dragged deeper into this war are pretty much right. I mean, that is a legitimate concern. And, you know, the Biden administration has sent two carrier battle groups to the region. There are more troops going there to secure U.S. bases and stuff like that. So, yes, it is that serious. But when I see things that people are worried about, I think back to what it means for how people think about the U.S. economy and for Biden's overall approval rating. And the reason is that Americans give Biden basically poor marks on his handling of the economy. And many pollsters and economists say that just doesn't reflect what's actually going on in the economy. There's this increasing scrutiny of why are Americans so bummed out when the job market is so strong, inflation has been coming down rapidly. We just had a blowout GDP number for the third quarter. That was based on consumer spending. And there's some thinking, the Wall Street Journal had an article on this recently, that people are so bummed out about things happening outside the economic realm that is affecting their view of things that are happening inside the economic realm. And Americans just think things are terrible. Confidence levels, consumer confidence levels are at recessionary levels. And we are not in a recession. We're not even close to a recession. Jobs report today, pretty good. The unemployment rate's still below 4%. But when I see this, 84% of Americans now worried about the U.S. getting dragged into this quagmire in the Middle East. That tells me people are going to probably get even more sour on the economy, and Biden's approval rating could go down rather than up, even though he's getting pretty good marks for his handling of the crisis over there so far.
Despite that, Rick, you have the U.S. House just passing a $14 billion aid package for Israel. What are the chances the Senate takes that up and the president ultimately signs it?
It's not going to happen the way the House passed it. And the reason is that House Republicans say, well, we need to offset that $14 billion in new spending by cutting funding for the IRS, which basically just means that tax cheats, wealthy tax cheats, would have an easier time fooling the IRS and getting away with tax cheating. This is completely ridiculous and irresponsible to say, let's come up with the funding for this by cutting IRS funding and allowing more wealthy Americans to cheat on their taxes. It is absolutely illogical. And Democrats who control the Senate have said that is such a stupid way to approach this. We're not even going to consider that legislation. So that bill is going nowhere in that form. They did approve about the amount of aid Biden wants for Israel, but they did not approve any of the aid he wants for Ukraine, which is about 4 to 5 times more than he wants for Israel. And Biden wanted some funding for Taiwan as well. So what's going to happen is the Senate is going to produce another bill, and it's going to include most of what Biden is asking for, maybe not exactly the same amounts of funding, but pretty close. And then we're going to have a showdown between the Senate and the House. And this is going to be the first real test for the new Speaker, Mike Johnson, how he performs in the big leagues, if you will. So he's done a good job pandering to the small number of hardline conservatives in the Republican Party. That's what this bill is about. But now he has to play realpolitik with Mitch McConnell, Senate Minority Leader in the House, who wants funding for Ukraine, does not want to attach IRS defunding to this. So we have a legislative showdown coming, and I don't assume this is going to get handled quickly. I think there's a chance this could go on for weeks, and it could be part of a possible government shutdown coming in less than 2 weeks. Lots to look forward to.
November 17th is the deadline. A reminder, Rick Newman going to stay on top of all of that for us. As always, thanks so much.
Bye, guys.